Good afternoon.
Okay, let's humble ourselves as we are going to pray. Mighty King of glory, we thank you for today. We thank you for each and every thing, Father, that you have given in our lives, Father. Father, we call upon your Holy Spirit that it come and guide us in each and everything that we are going to do, mighty King of glory. Father, we welcome your power, your healing, Father, as we are going to study. We call upon your knowledge, your understanding, so that we understand each and everything and we put them into practice, mighty King of glory. We have prayed and believe in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Linda, for the word of prayer. Uh, when you look at my screen, I have a photo. I don't know whether someone can raise up the hand and you tell me what you are able to see, and maybe throw some little light as we start off the session. When you look at that photo, when you look at my screen, I know you are seeing some photo. Anyone who wants to tell us what you are able to see, others you can place it in the chat. Yes, Didi?
Thank you, sir.
Mm.
According to me, if I look at this picture, what comes into my mind is like your inner self, like in your mind, what drives your thoughts, like the drive of your thoughts. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Didi. Yes, Linda?
For me, according to me,
Mm.
the photo indicates like in our head we have the brain which controls each and everything that we do. So it's our brain to control our thoughts, each and everything that we think about, or each and everything that we do. That is it.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. And when I look through the chat, okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. Now, our session today, this is where we are going to concentrate on. We want that by the end of this session, that each one of us on the call, you are able to drive yourself better. So when you look at that photo, you can see that there is a driver, but many times someone else drives our emotions. Someone else is driving us, and we are not the one in the control. So we are asking ourselves, how can we get into control of our minds, our thoughts, and our behaviors? So in our session today, that is where we are going to concentrate on. And we want to thank you. Thank you so much for keeping time. For those who may have questions, we have already collected some questions, but in the process of the discussion, you can place those questions in the chat. This afternoon, we are blessed to have Mrs. Juliet Kavuma as our facilitator for the session. Mrs. Juliet is a teacher. She has been in the field for over 20 years. She has experience. She has worked with students across the country. So she knows a lot about our lives, what goes through our lives. Many of you have been able to consult her, to reach out to her, and she has been able to offer support. She's a counseling psychologist, so she's really very vast with these kind of interactions. And I know by the end of this session, many of you would have been hoped to become much, much better. So for those who may have questions, those who may have anything, feel free to have all those questions placed in the chat. But I know by the time we shall finish the discussion, many of you will be very fine and all those questions will be answered. So in case you have any, keep it and wait at the end of the session to be able to ask. At this point, allow me to welcome Mrs. Juliet to take us through the session. You're most welcome, Teacher Juliet.
Thank you, Mr. Kaziba. I hope everyone can hear me. Please tell me you can hear me.
Your volume. We can't. Your volume is low.
Oh, okay. How about now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, madam.
Okay, I hope because I'm using
Yes,
a
we can hear you.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. If you can hear me, you're all welcome to the session. Please, whenever you don't hear me, make sure you type. I will see the chat showing whether you can hear me or not, but you're welcome to the session. So I'm sorry for those who can't hear me because maybe it is my laptop or something, and I can't use my phone, which would have done better, but the battery is very, very low. How about now? Some people are saying the volume is very low. Okay, I have increased my volume. Can you hear me now? Huh. Hello? Okay, so I want to believe that everyone now can hear me. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Kaziba, for that introduction. Thank you for inviting me for this session, and students, thank you for joining in. So I will not put on my volume now because, I mean my video now, because I really have issues with the gadget that I'm using. But if you can hear me well and good. So Mr. Kaziba, I request that you share for me. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kaziba. So as you can see, Mr. Kaziba has already done the introduction. He has told you who I am. That's my name, and that's what I do. I actually work in a school, but before that, I used to be a teacher before I became a counselor. So I know students, I work with teenagers, and I interfaced with a number of issues that students usually have. And I must say that I actually know what happens in the life of a teenager as you grow. Okay, so this afternoon we thought it best to talk about self-control. And I saw the comments you filled in the form, and I'm very sure that by the end of the session, we shall be able to handle and to address some of those comments and some of those problems that we might have. Now, next slide, please. Okay. The objectives of the session. Why are we here anyway? Why are we in this session? One, because we want to identify the biological gap between our emotions and the logic to understand why we act on impulse. It is very known and well known that students act on impulse, teenagers act on impulse in many cases, sometimes, or let me say like 90%, rarely think before they act. That is what we call acting on impulse. You just say what comes to your mind. You just talk back. You can say anything that you want to anyone. So most of those things happen to us teenagers. And as we do this session, I want you to look into yourself and wonder, am I in that kind of category? But we don't blame you sometimes because we know that a teenager's brain is still growing, and there are certain things that might not be fully developed in the brain to control the way we act. And then we also need to spot our triggers. We want to recognize the personal emotional red zones and also master the immediate techniques that will help us to stay grounded. When we say to stay grounded, we simply mean the things that we have to do in order to behave well, in order to relate well, in order to act well, in order to think well. So that is staying grounded, the coping mechanisms that we have to put into place. And then also, we need to master the pause, to learn to choose the long-term goals over the short-term impulses in order to reclaim our personal power. We have to learn to use our self-control to choose something that will be beneficial for us in the long run than going for something that is going to be or to satisfy us for a minute, and then the next minute it is no longer there. So that is why we are here today. Next slide, please. Okay, so I want us to look at these scenarios. I'm going to give you 5 minutes and you answer in the, you look at them and then answer in the chat. I'll be reading the chat. We have the first scenario. It is 6:45 a.m. It is raining outside. Your bed is the warmest place that you want to be on earth. You know you'll be late for your first lesson. What can you, or what would be your reaction? Tell us exactly, be genuine and tell us exactly what will be your reaction. And then you open your phone just to check a chemistry assignment in a class WhatsApp group. But then you see a notification that the school gossip is trending on TikTok, or trending on WhatsApp or Snapchat or anywhere, wherever, whatever social media app you're on. On status or anywhere, what would you do first? Would you open the chemistry assignment first, or are you going to go to the TikTok or the WhatsApp status? Please check that and answer. And then that one classmate who knows exactly how to annoy you starts making fun of your new haircut in front of everyone. What would you be your reaction? How are you going to react? So I want you to look at those scenarios and then answer in the chat. Just tell us what you will do. So I'm giving you 5 minutes. Mr. Kaziba, I request that when the 5 minutes are done, you let me know. So the 5 minutes, look at those. I'm looking at the comment. Ethan, does Daddy have
Teacher Juliet, it is time. Teacher Juliet, the 5 minutes are done.
Mr. Kaziba?
Yes, Teacher Juliet?
I have changed it to a phone because the laptop has refused. So there is a phone, I think it is in the name of Solomon Kavuma.
Oh,
Please.
not yet. Saying the phone.
Or it is, it could be Samsung SM A3.
Samsung S.
Them?
Could it be that one I'm unmuting?
Yes, that one. Okay, so
Oh, first leave it open because I'm seeing very many Samsungs. F3, right?
It's that one, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So let me switch off the laptop. Okay, so is that okay now? Now, members, can you hear me better? Hello?
Yes, Teacher Judy, they can in the chat.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to be sure. Now, I've been reading the comments. I've been reading the chat. I've seen people saying I would stay in bed, I would wake up immediately, I would get an umbrella and go to class. Some people said I would show that friend of mine a test of his medicine. I would first look at my bed, then I go for my lesson. Then there are so many things. It feels bad to let a fool to fool you just focusing on what you want and other people decide for you. I don't know what that one is. I think that person is answering to scenario number 3 and all those things. So there are so many answers, and it's quite obvious that each one of us will act differently. Most people would act differently. Most people would do the right thing. Some people would do what pleases them. And now, my friends, that is why we need to understand what self-control is all about. That's why we need to understand what self-control is all about. So looking at these scenarios, you would think that everyone would say the same thing. But then people have given different answers. So at the end of the session, we shall understand exactly what self-control is all about. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, people have made different kinds of choices. Mr. Kaziba at the beginning showed you that picture of the brain and the gas pedal, somebody driving, and how you drive your life. The way you drive your life is probably what we call self-control. Now, the gas pedal is, if most of you, I don't know if you know very well the different parts of the car, but that part that you step on in order for the car to move, that's what we call the accelerator, or other people, especially the Americans, call it the gas pedal. Now, for all the different answers you've given, it means your brains are working perfectly. It means that everything that you do, you understand whatever you decide to take on. So we are going to talk about how to strengthen the brakes. The brakes are the self-control. Because if you say, I would give my friend a test of his medicine, somehow, somewhere, it is a tit-for-tat game, and it might lead to a number of issues between you and your friend and probably involve the entire class. So we need to learn how to use self-control in order to use speed well and also to take the right direction instead of just following our cravings and allowing our tempers to choose for us. How do we manage the gas pedal and accelerator to smoothly navigate the rapids along the way? The rapids are the relationships, the social and parental expectations, the academic pressure, the comparisons, the peer pressure, and so many other things that you go through as students. Those are what we call the rapids. I would assume I called them the rapids in this session. But in your geography, I'm sure you all do geography. You know what rapids are. Now, what is self-control? Self-control is the power to hit pause when your feelings are at 100%, and therefore getting the logical brain enough time, or giving the logical brain enough time to catch up and decide, giving your brain enough logical time to catch up and decide so that you make a choice that you won't regret tomorrow. Sometimes we make choices and then later we regret those choices. It is the mental ability to override an immediate impulse in favor of a long-term goal. Self-control isn't something that you're born with. That is the beauty about it. It is something that we build along the way. Given all the experiences we go through, we start building our self-control. So that means that we can build and be better. I want you to note that the part of the brain that drives decision making in a human being is not fully developed in teenagers until your 20s, around mid 20s, 25, something like that. However, this shouldn't be an excuse for you to act impulsively since you have the power to apply the brakes. Now, the power to apply the brakes, remember, we have just said that self-control is something that you build with the different little things that you do. We are going to look at that later in the session. Some little things that we do that will help us to build self-control. So just because your brain is not fully developed does not give you the right to act impulsively. Because as you grow, by the time you're 12, by the time you're 10, probably, you can clearly tell what is the difference between what is right and what is wrong. Okay? So, let us learn to apply the brakes because it is no excuse. Next, please. Okay. What happens when we do not apply the brakes? In other words, what happens when we don't use our self-control, when we don't use or put our self-control to the maximum capacity or use it or contact it, consult it and all that? We make regretful decisions. We act on temporary anger and excitement. It leads to damaged relationships, and sometimes it can lead to legal issues. If you were grown up and you already have a job, because I know there are some people who are 18, they are students, but they also work somewhere. So it can also lead to professional trouble because you have not applied your self-control. Your boss has told you this, and straight away, you smack them in the face. Your prefect at school has told you, do this, do housework, do this. You blow up and go up against them, or you start a fight, that kind of thing. So it leads to regretful decision making. And then it also leads to addictive patterns. Some people said, I would open my phone first. I would open my phone first and check the trending news. Okay? And as you check the trending news, you might find yourself going on and on for hours because as you look at this news, there is something more interesting. As you look at this comment, there is another one that is more interesting. So you want to check it out also. So at the end of the day, you end up forgetting the chemistry exam that has been given or the chemistry homework that you have to do. So it can lead to addictive patterns because the brain seeks quick dopamine hits. Dopamine is that chemical in our body that brings on excitement, that entertains us. That is the chemical that is at work when you are scrolling in your Snapchat, in your WhatsApp, in your TikTok and all those other things. And then when you don't apply the brakes or when you don't use self-control, you develop low frustration tolerance. In other words, you cannot tolerate any little frustration in your life. Life is not a smooth journey. Whether we like it or not, we are going to face ups and downs here and there. So some of them are very small setbacks, like for example, a small bad grade in maybe today your mathematics is not coming out so well like you expected, and then you get a 30, yet you expected a 70. Or you are in a traffic jam and you're going to school in the morning. For those who are day scholars, you're caught up somewhere, and then all of a sudden, you react in a way that is not expected. You start shouting at people, you get your exam paper and you tear it in front of the teacher because he has given you a low grade. So, we become intolerant. of things like catastrophes. We think that it's a catastrophe that have failed the paper. Yet it's not the final. If you fail your beginning of term, you perform better in your midterm. Put in effort. If the midterm fails, work hard and your end of term is better. If your senior 2 was not so good, let your senior 3 be good. So all those things can be changed. And then relationship strain. We get into strains in our relationships if we don't use self-control. Friends and family may feel like they are walking on eggshells around you. I hope you know that term of walking on eggshells. Whenever you mention, oh, Juliet is coming, and then people start fidgeting. Oh, she's coming. What should we do? Let me pretend I'm busy. Oh, let me do this. Oh, let me do that. That kind of feeling. Why would you be the person who makes people walk on eggshells wherever you are? How are you going to build relationships if all the time people are walking on eggshells whenever they hear your name or whenever they see you? Okay, so because people are not sure of what is going to come out of your mouth or what you're going to say, how you're going to act, so that is why you keep them at tenterhooks. And then inconsistency. Whenever we don't apply the brakes, we get into inconsistency. What does that mean? For example, you might start a project with high energy, but then abandon it the moment it becomes boring and difficult. If you are in the new lower secondary school curriculum, you have the project-based learning. So you start working on a project, okay? But because your self-control is not way up there, or it is not high, then you do what? Along the way, it becomes boring and you abandon it. Remember, you have a time frame in which you're doing all these things. So you keep on abandoning. At the end of the day, you'll find the time when you're supposed to hand in your final project has come and you have nothing to show for it. Why? Because you did not apply the brakes when you were doing some of these things. And then poor reliability. Poor reliability, people cannot rely on you because of your temper, because they are not sure of what you're going to say next. They are not sure of how you're going to act. They are not sure of whether you're going to wake up from your bed when it's raining or you're going to cover yourself. All those things. So we need to put in place our self-control, our brakes. Continue. Okay. Now, if we don't apply the brakes, if we don't use self-control, if we don't employ our self-control, we live in chronic stress. You live in a state of constant reaction, which keeps the body in a fight or flight mode, increasing your cortisol levels. Cortisol levels are those chemicals in the body that regulate and work with stress in our bodies. Okay? So if they are low, your stress is low. If they are high, your stress is high. Now, if you live in a state of stress all the time, you're stressed all the time. Just imagine you're stressed on Monday, you're stressed on Tuesday, you're stressed up to Sunday, then Monday morning, another week, then the month, then the 3 months of the term. You're stressed. Surely people imagine, put yourself in that place. How exactly are you going to run your life? So you need to put the brakes, you need to put self-control so as to be able to run your life the way it should. And then poor habits. You have very poor eating habits, okay? There is food in the dining hall, but you prefer to eat a chapati. There is, what else? You prefer to take a soda all the time. We all know the side effects of such sweet things and the chemicals and etc. It is okay once in a while you can take, but it shouldn't be 3 bottles every day. 3 bottles times 5, those are 15 a week. You're putting your body in a state of poor health. Okay. You're not paying attention to your schedule, your sleep schedule. You spend the time, now you've been in holiday for almost 9 weeks. You probably have been on the phones up to around 2 a.m. and yet you have to wake up in the morning. Next week, you're going to school. You need to start working right now to put your sleep pattern into place so that you don't struggle when you get into school. Exercise routine. You have poor habits as far as exercise is concerned, especially you young people. PE. I see that some schools have PE, but you find people seated in a corner They've not gone to the field to join PE. And yet we know that things to do with sports are one of the very best or things that help people, especially students, to beat the stress of academic pressure. If you involve yourself in sports and you play a sport maybe every day, every evening, or maybe once a week, or maybe twice a week, if you involve yourself in that, you'll find that your stress levels are very low and you're able to work out with your academics, you're able to relate with people, you're able to relate with your teachers and all that. But if your body is under pressure because of academics, and then you don't release the pressure that is there because you don't participate in sports, you have that bad habit, you dodge PE, you don't go for sports, you think it is low level, it is demeaning, especially for girls, okay? Then, my dear, this will destabilize your mood. And yet you need your mood to be very comfortable. And then, is it permanent? The good news is that it is not permanent. Remember what I said, that we can build our self-control? So even when you have bad habits now, even when you have chronic stress now, these are things that you can work on. It's not permanent because the brain has that bit we call neuroplastic. When we talk about neuroplastic, we mean the brain has nerves, and then it's like a plastic thing, because when something is plastic, you can kind of look at a straw. You can bend it, you can twist it. If it's not this hard plastic, and the brain is not the hard plastic, it is the soft plastic kind of make. So you can twist it, you can bend it, you can rebuild and rewire your brain. So it is not a permanent thing. These neural pathways in the brain can be reshaped through practice, through mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means being present. You are present in that moment. Right now, we are here in a lesson, in a session. Some people are online, but they are not present. Other people are online and they are very, very present because they are taking notes. Some are taking screenshots. Some are writing down. Some are asking questions. They are present in the moment. And when you do that, you're building your brain. You're building your self-control. Okay. And then CBT, that is cognitive behavior techniques. These are employed by counselors. You as a student, you might not exactly help yourself with CBT, but a counselor can take you through some of the things that are involved in CBT to help you build your brain. Next, please. Okay. What happens if we have self-control? So we have just talked about when we don't employ self-control, what happens? We've seen all those bad things, bad habits, chronic stress, and all that. But when we have self-control, we are able to regulate our emotions. We manage what we call the emotional hijacks. Take note that our emotions are like weather. Today it is cold, tomorrow it is hot, in the morning it is hot, in the evening it's rainy. Okay, so those emotional things, or the emotional things that we go through. If I'm feeling good, I'm feeling weak, I'm feeling bad, I am jittery, I am angry, I am all those things that we go through. In most cases, they don't happen throughout the whole day. In the morning, you can be low, then later you become better because of something that you have employed. Okay, so it helps us to manage our emotions when we have arguments with our peers and our parents. Some of you, the way you speak to your parents, my dear, because working in a school, I've seen how some students reply and engage with their parents. Sometimes you wonder, is this really the parent? Oh, this is the child, or this is the auntie, or by a bigger sister. Yet it's the mother. Because of the way the child speaks to her, you wonder. So we need to control. When we put in self-control, we learn to manage our emotions. We learn to process frustration without turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Some people can become so frustrated that they start taking substances. Substances like drugs, even the normal drugs, you start taking a cough mixture in excessive levels because you want it to give you the high and all that. So when we put in self-control, we learn to process the frustration and we deal with it in healthy coping ways, like using sports, like reading, like writing, like music, dance, and drama. Okay, like enjoying putting our energy in productive things, like listening to music, like putting it in academic issues, all that. And then maintain a sense of calm when facing heavy workloads. As students, I really feel sorry for you because you have a lot of work to do. So you have a lot of work to deal with, but that is life. And doesn't mean you should give up. It means you should find ways of dealing with it. So when you employ self-control, you employ a sense of calm. And then you learn how to prioritize things. And then you learn how to bite off what you can chew. And therefore, you're able to work within the heavy workload, but it's not giving you so much stress. And even when the stress comes, you know how to handle it. Academic success. When we put self-control into place, we delay gratification. Gratification is that reward that you get in a short while. Remember the scenarios that I talked about? You stay in bed at 6:45. Your next lesson is at 7 a.m. You stay in bed because for you you want to feel warmer, and then you miss that lesson. And God forbid the teacher might come and give a test and you miss that activity of integration, and then it becomes trouble for you. So when we put in self-control, we gain academic success because we learn to delay immediate gratification for long-term gratification. And then we focus. When we focus, you can silence your phone notifications in order to finish an assignment despite the pull of social media. Remember that scenario that talked about, would you open the gossip column on your phone, the TikTok, instead of looking at the chemistry? Okay, so you learn all these things. And then consistency. You wake up to those early school starts when you feel exhausted. Okay, so you learn to wake up at 6:45, whether it's raining or not. You become consistent, because if you have like the month of November, usually October, November, those are wet months, you find it is raining. But fortunately or unfortunately, there are also the months where O-level and A-level are sitting their final exams. So are you trying to say that at 6:45 in November or October, you have a UNEB exam to do? Are you going to stay in bed? Ask yourself that. You need to learn to be consistent, and consistency is built with time. Next. Okay, and then you learn to navigate social pressure. Pressure is at its peak in our teen years. High self-control provides a social shield, helping the teens to be able to manage each other. That's when, in our teen years, is when we mainly have peer pressure. Girls looking at each other and saying, oh, why aren't I like her? What did she do for her to be there? I also want to be there. That kind of thing. The boys, the senior twos saying, oh, we are going to this joint. They are sneaking out of school. And then the senior ones also are saying, oh, we want to fit in. Let's also join the senior twos and we go to the joint. All those things. So when you have self-control, you will say, I'm in senior one. I'm a student. I don't need that alcohol now. I don't need to go to that joint now. Then you learn to say no to risky behavior, substance abuse, reckless driving. There are 18-year-olds here who are driving. If we have senior sixes online, some of them are driving. Even some started driving when they were 16. If you see how people drive on the way, some can be mad. So all those things. And then think critically about the gender expectations or society norms. Okay. When you have self-control, you're able to think about gender expectations rather than blindly following them. There are certain things where, for example, if you've heard of the child marriages, so now because you've made 16, you are in school and you are in that community where children usually get married at 12, at 13, because we've seen those things on video, TikTok videos and other videos that we've seen that make the rounds. So, and then for you, you start following, oh, I'm now 12, I want to get out of school and get married. I'm now 16, I want to get, so you're following a social norm just because it is there like that. And yet your parents have given you the chance to be in school so that you can better yourself. And then you learn how to maintain boundaries, not getting involved in things just because your friends are doing them. And then financial responsibility. In our teen years, that is when we learn how to manage money. Because now, if you are in a boarding school, you probably get pocket money. How are you using your pocket money? Even if you are in a day school, some people still get pocket money even when they are in day schools. Your parents are giving you money and you have to learn to manage that money. So we learn all this in our teen years. If you get that money and within 1 week the money is done and you're already calling the parents to add on, or you're borrowing here and there, self-control is not working. Self-control is not working in your life, okay? And then self-control helps also to avoid impulse buying that is driven by trends. You people are so exposed to so many things. Whenever you open that TikTok page, you'll find the newest shoe being advertised. You'll find your friend showing off where they've been in the holidays, showing off the newest pair of jeans or whatever. Now, because you have some little money, you want to buy that pair of jeans when you don't even need it. Some of you have so many things you have bought, others do not have that much. But ask yourself, do I really need this? The rules of decluttering or getting rid of things that we don't need tell us that if you haven't used something in 6 months, you probably don't need it. So get rid of it. So, and don't buy it again. You might not need it. That's why you didn't use it in the beginning. Next. Okay. So, how do we apply the brakes? We've talked about what happens when you don't use self-control. We have talked about what happens when you apply self-control. Now, how do we apply self-control? We learn to breathe. Remember, I told you that self-control is built. We are not born with it. But as we grow, we learn to build. We build our self-control. We become better. So, to breathe, you need to take deep breath. When we talk about breathing, we are not talking about just breathing as in taking in oxygen and you're walking away. You're walking around. No, we are talking about using breathing to reset your buttons. Imagine that friend of yours who is looking at your new haircut and they are busy making you angry, laughing at it in front of everyone. Instead of reaching out to smack that person in the face, take a deep breath. And by the time you're done exhaling out that deep breath, your brain would have settled. Your brain would now be telling you, walk away, keep quiet, don't say anything. Instead of reaching out to fold your fists and beat up someone. And then the 10-minute rule. If you want to buy something, post something online in that WhatsApp group, on TikTok, etc. Also something mean to someone. Tell yourself, I can do it, but I have to wait 10 minutes. I can do it. I can abuse this person. I can post whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can buy this because I have the money. Take 10 minutes before you go ahead. And then Wait and see. By the time the 10 minutes are done, if it is good, you will go ahead and do it. If it is bad, your brain will be warning you. It will sending you warning signals. It will be sending you warning signals telling you, don't do it, don't post it, don't press the send button, don't do it, don't do it. Okay? And then phone lockdown. If someone is making you mad online, physically put your phone in another room. Distance is the fastest way to cool down your brain. You know how you type and you feel even your blood pressure is going up. Eh? That you are so angry. Eh? Even your fingers are panicking. They are shaking as you type. Before you type, get your phone, put it away. Either switch it off or put it in another room and do something else. By the time you come back, your brain would have settled. And you will save yourself from posting something that might even land you in prison. Some of you think we are secondary school students, we are young, we are still in school, we can't break the law. My dear, some of the things that you post online can land you in prison. Have you seen people who have been put in prison because of abusing the president, abusing the speaker, and abusing people in power and people in authority? Eh? So if you are that kind of person who keeps on typing, just typing away because other people are typing, be careful before you post. And then the future me. This is, ask yourself, if I wake up tomorrow morning, will I be glad I did whatever I've just done now? Or will I be embarrassed? That is what we call the future me. Before you do something, ask yourself, when I do this, after 20, 30 minutes, will I feel okay? Will I be proud that I did it? If your brain is telling you no, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Just put your phone aside and leave it. Now, I would also, at this moment, I would like to talk about the sexual relationships that you young people usually have. You get into a relationship. I saw in the comments someone saying, oh, I'm in a relationship, but I feel like giving up because I'm so tired. It is bothering me. Yes, your self-control is telling you, give it up. Because you have so much that is bothering you already. You have academic pressure. You have parents breathing down your throat, telling you to perform better. You have your UNEB coming up. You have projects coming up. You have so much on your plate. And then on the side, you're putting love relationships. And yet their time will come. So, and this love relationship is giving you trouble. Eh? You're struggling with it. You're asking what should you do, etc. Please employ your self-control and ask yourself, the future me, how will I be? Next, please. Okay. Now, the big person perspective. All these things are things to help us put our self-control in place. For example, imagine your favorite role model or an adult, okay? And or adult you actually respect is watching what you're doing right now. Would you still do it? Imagine they are in a corner somewhere, eh? And you admire those people. You like what they do. You like who they are. You like your mother. You like who she is. You like your father. You like who he is, your guardian, your big sibling, your teacher. Now, before you do something, ask yourself, this big person, my role model in my life, will they like what I'm doing? If they don't, if the answer is no, please don't go ahead and do it. Put it aside. And then squeeze and release. This is a practical way of releasing of employing self-control. You want to beat up someone because of what they have said? Hold your fists and clench them. Hold your fists, fold them as if you're going to beat up someone. Hold it for 5 seconds and then let go. Do it again, 5 seconds, and then let go. You will find that your body is trying to release whatever it is that is forcing you to do that thing, your body begins releasing it. Each time you clench and release, you're helping your body to calm down. And then spot that trigger. This is very, very important. Very important. What is that pushes us off the edge? What is that makes us tired? What is that pushes us to be hungry and angry? What is it that makes us angry being around a certain person? When I'm around Juliet, I feel like smacking her in the face. When that girl stands up to give an answer in class, I feel she's showing off and all that. Spot the trigger. Do you get angry whenever Juliet stands up to give an answer? Do you get angry wherever Martha Maria stands up to give an answer? Some people are talking of jealousy and all that. Spot the trigger. And when you spot that trigger, you learn to work around it. For example, if that girl makes you angry, whenever she stands up to give an answer because you feel she's showing off and etc., find a way of dealing with it. Of course, you're not going to stand up and smack the girl. No. Clench your fist and release. Breathe deeply, and you see your body relaxing, and you won't be bothered about what she has to say. Write it down. If you are angry, type out exactly what you want to say in your notes app. If you're using a phone, in your diary, if you have a physical diary, somewhere, put it in writing. They say whenever we put things in writing, we release them from our brain, we release them from our minds, we release the emotions that are pushing us to feel the way we feel. Write it down before you send it. And if you feel it is the right thing to do, go ahead. But in most cases, it would be the wrong thing to do. And by the end of writing it down, you realize it is not worth it. And then you delete. The wait. What? You know, before you do anything, and then your mind said, wait, what? Was I about to do that? Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? And what am I? Am I just imagining? Sometimes we act to what we think someone meant, not what actually they did. I want to believe that most of you probably have WhatsApp groups that you belong to. Some of you are on social media, or some of you, even when you're not on social media, I know that you relate with the people physically. In most cases, people can say something to mean something, and for you, your brain perceives it in a different way. So before you react to what a person has said, please wait and ask yourself, what? Ask yourself, what is actually happening now? Am I just imagining it, or this person has said this? Because you might react, yet the person meant no harm. They were just saying something as a joke, maybe, or they were saying something and they meant something else, and for you, you understood it differently. So it is important to wait and ask yourself. And then try to build daily habits. Exercising. Don't miss the PE lessons when they are there. Take a walk whenever possible. Sometimes sit and think alone. Okay. Learn to write down things in a diary, in a journal. Okay. House chores, they help us to relax much as they also take away our energy. But in a way, they also help us to relax. There are some people who enjoy cooking. You are in holidays. If you enjoy cooking, go ahead. Wake up every morning, make that breakfast. Make that chapati in the evening, make this. Okay, so you'll find that day goes by and you're building self-control without even realizing it. Where you would have been on the phone scrolling away, where you would have been involving yourself in mischief, you're instead involving yourself in house chores and you're doing well. And then also prayer. Prayer calms the mind. We should learn to pray for ourselves. We should learn to pray for the people we come in contact with. We should learn to keep our minds calm with prayer. That is also important. You do these habits on a daily basis. It helps you to overcome and to build your self-control. Next, please. Okay. I believe we are coming to the end. So what is our take home? What is our take home? Can I have someone to read for us the take home? Someone to read for us the take home there?
You are the architect, not the building. Your brain, I think that should be, not that building. Your brain is neuroplastic, meaning it is
Okay, you are the
currently under.
okay, it is you are the architect, not the building. I should have put a comma there. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Okay, you are the architect, not the building. Your brain is neuroplastic, meaning it is currently under construction. If you struggle with self-control now, it doesn't mean you are bad or weak. It just means your prefrontal cortex, the logic center, is still building its highway. Every
Thank you
time
so
you
much.
stop,
Thank you so much. First pause there, and I explained that. Remember what I said, that in our teen years, our brain is still building, especially that front part that helps us to apply self-control. It is still building up to around the mid-20s, okay? So
yes.
when something happens, it doesn't mean that you were a bad person. Remember, self-control can be built. So you can get up from the floor and walk again and be a better person. Apply the things we have talked about. Apply the daily habits, and along the way you'll become better. Continue, please.
Every time you stop and think before acting, you are laying a brick for a stronger future self.
Okay, that is a good one. You're building your character because you're not impulsive. If some people are already in work, like I said, there could be some S6s, some in S6 back, who already in work. There could be some senior fours who are already doing something. So each time you apply self-control, you're building a better future with the people you're relating with. That person you're working for right now might refer you to another person and to a better setting. Okay? Why? Because you have always thought before you acted. You don't just act on impulse. Continue.
The master pause between a trigger, like a mean comment or a difficult exam, and your reaction, there is a tiny space. That space is your power. If you learn to breathe for just 5 seconds before responding, you switch from your emotional brain to your thinking brain.
Members, go back and read. Please read for us that again, so that people pay attention to that.
Yes, okay. Master the pause between a trigger, like a mean comment or a difficult exam. Your reaction, there is a tiny space. That space is your power. If you learn to breathe for just 5 seconds before responding, you switch from your emotional brain to your thinking brain.
Have you heard that, young ones online? Have you heard that, students online? Before that trigger pushes you off to do whatever it is, please, there is that tiny space in between your emotional brain and your thinking brain. In that, you won't be able to make a mess of things. You won't be able to make that mean comment to someone else. Okay? Employ the thinking brain by taking a second before you reply to each and everything. We shouldn't use our emotional brains all the time. We need the thinking brain to be very, very active. Even when amongst young people, the thinking brain is still young and it is still growing. But I said that is no excuse. Why? Because much as the thinking brain is still young, we are learning to build it. So as you build your brain, you're building it to be positive, not to be rushing out at people at whatever they say, not to be abusing people at whatever they say, talking back to elders at whatever they say. So employ the thinking brain much more than the emotional brain. Next, please.
I can continue.
Yes.
Play the
Continue, please.
future. Okay. Play the future movie. When faced with an impulse, like skipping study time or joining in on peer pressure, press fast forward in your mind. Ask yourself, how will I feel about this choice in 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days? Self-control is simply choosing what you want most over what you want now.
Okay. People, those who want to stay in bed, I hope now you know what to do. Those who want to first scroll around before you check the chemistry assignment, I hope now you know what to do. Those who want to give that person a test of their own medicine, I hope now you know what to do. Continue.
Your environment is your invisible coach. Self-control is a limited resource. It gets tired like a muscle. Don't waste it. If you know your phone distracts you, put it in another room. If certain friends pressure you, set boundaries. Winning is easier when you don't have to fight a battle every 5 minutes.
Good. Self-control is like that muscle. As we grow, the muscles wear away. However, much as they wear away, there are some things that people do to help them stay physically fit. Okay, you've seen videos of women who are 70 but they look like they are 50 or 40 years because they are putting certain things in place. Okay, so put that in place. Learn that if certain friends are pressuring you into doing things, set your boundaries. Okay, and then if the phone is distracting you all the time, you need to put it aside sometimes. At least don't charge it. Don't charge it one day and keep away, pretend that there is no power, I didn't charge it. So that one time you keep that phone away, you're building your self-control and you're winning. You're winning. Continue.
Be kind to your construction zone. You'll mess up, and that's okay. Self-control isn't about being perfect, it's about being resilient. If you lose your cool or fail a goal, don't give up. Identify what triggered the slip, learn from the glitch in the system, and start again. Your brain learns more from a corrected mistake than from easy success.
Yeah, I think we said it. We talked about the things that might trigger us, the number of things that might trigger us. It can be a bad exam mark. It can be a comment from someone. All those things, they might trigger us. So if you mess up and you do something wrong, just know that you can still get up and be fine, because we said self-control is built. So you can still build it and be fine. Okay? We don't have to be 100% perfect. We are human beings. So sometimes we make mistakes. But when we make mistakes, we shouldn't thrive in those mistakes. Instead, we should wake up. You should get up and dust off the dust from your knees, rise up again, and put habits in place that can help you build your self-control. Continue, Mr. Kazi. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of the session. Now, the answers would be you sent in a Google form. You sent a Google form that had a number of things. I think some of the things have been answered in the discussion. Some of them have been answered. I'm trying to look. Unfortunately, my Google form was on the other computer that refused to give us volume. So I'm trying to look for something that I put on the phone here, on my other phone, which is also very low on battery, by the way. But I'll be able to read out a few things. So just give me a minute. Anyway, in the meantime, I'll ask people, can you please, you raise your hand, you tell us, is there something that you have picked from this session? Has it been a waste of your time? Please, I would like to hear from you.
Okay, Martha.
From this session, I've learned that number one, having a bad day doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And number two, in case maybe something really bothers you and hurts you when it comes to friends and all that type of stuff, you can before you have to react about it, you can just first take a deep breath, think about it, calm down, and think of a better way of reacting towards it. And I believe you can you can't easily erase actions, but you can erase thoughts.
Thank you
Yes,
so
that's all.
much. Thank you so much, Martha.
Yeah.
Let's hear from more people.
James.
Yes,
Go on.
a good afternoon, everyone. So basically what I learned from this session, basically since of course it was about self-control, I learned like some tips to help to help me control my anger. I hope you're getting me well.
Go on, James.
So yes, I learned like some tips that I can use to control my anger, like the one where you have to like squeeze your hand. For some, you should call it cleansing. You can just cleanse your hand for is it 5 seconds, then you let go. You cleanse again, you let go. Yes, thanks so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, Matthew.
Good afternoon, members. What I've learned is how to control my anger, how to spend money wisely, and how to make friends who are very good to you. That's what I've learned. Thanks for the advice and counseling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hannah.
I've actually learned a lot from this session. In fact, it's like an encouragement to me because this previous term, I actually got some sort of situation with my decamate. So, like, there was something going on between me and the girl who sleeps let me say below me. So there was a time I was speaking, then this one who sleeps in the middle kind of came into the conversation, and she just started speaking mean things about me. Every time I could go into dorm, she used to like say mean words, but I used not to give her my time. Sometimes I could put it in thought that she does not stay with her mom, and maybe she's kind of putting that anger onto me. So I used to let it go, and after some time she kept quiet. I used not to give her my time at all. Then one day she came up to me and she was asking for my bucket to wash for clothes, like to wash her clothes, and I gave it to her. And just like that, the relationship instantly went back. I never gave her much time because I knew that she goes through a lot. Maybe she misses her mom and stuff. Sometimes people can't speak directly to you, but they use actions. So this session has been a really good encouragement to me, and it shows and it has given me the importance of self-control. Thank you.
Thank
Are there
Amen.
still more? I continue.
We have more. We have more. Yes,
Okay.
Darren?
I would like to start by thanking for the session. For me, my take home from this is the ways of controlling my anger. At times, I can be short tempered, but with the clenching my fist for 5 seconds has helped me to know how to control my anger, even writing down the things to release them from my mind. So that's what I've taken home from the session.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Elvis?
What I've understood from this lesson is that whatever you do right now has an effect on you in the future. So even when you want to play, playing is good, but you have to think about, will your playing give you those A's that you need? So yeah, you have to read your books. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kilat?
Kafuminga bulungi kati omutwalako bright ajja
Sorry,
kukolera ddala.
Kilat, come.
Yes, I greet all members and teachers here. From the session here, it has really taught me a lot to learn that we should focus on long-term goals, not short-term goals. Like, for example, like the way Madam was trying to counsel us about if you were to go for a chemistry lesson and scrolling the TikTok, which one would you prefer to? So you will see what will be helpful in the future, but TikTok is just something minor of which it will reach an era whereby it will not be there, but papers don't fade out. Then another thing I've learned that life has downfalls and upfalls, so we should also be ready for that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Everest? Everest? Okay, Jojo?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So my take home here is that who you are is who you attract. When you are as a careless person, you attract careless people, and when you are a caring person, you attract caring people. And you have to be mindful of people you put in your circles around you, like your closest friends, your best friends, something of that sort. And my other take home is how you dress is how you address. You can't dress inappropriately, and you think are going to respect you the way you want them to be. You want them to respect you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Jimmy?
Good afternoon to you all. For me, I've learned from today's session, I've learned that our brains learns from corrected mistakes is an easy success. Sometimes we fail exams and we feel that we feel like we are giving up, but sometimes when we go back and we check where it went wrong, it may help us in the future. That's some of what I've learned from this session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Vicky?
Good afternoon.
Oh, Vicky, go on. Jimmy, unmute.
Okay. I want to thank the teachers who prepared this session for us because I've really learned a lot in this session. I'm someone who gets angry very fast and actually I always fight. I can't hide the fact. I'm someone who is short tempered. But in this session I've learned that I've been actually in the wrong place and I've been actually not thinking before acting. I want to thank you so much. Because even today I was in a situation that really hurt me, but because of this session, I've also learned a lot. And I promise I'll change. I'll go back and reconcile with all those like I annoyed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes.
Linda.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for today's session because today we have learned a lot and I have got a lot in this session. I've learned to stay focused on what you are on because when you stay focused, you get that goal that you are working on. So thank you so much for that session.
Okay, thank you. Celestine? Okay. I failed to get... Yes, Celestine?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Celestine, and first of all, just want to I want to thank all the organizers of this program. Of course, we really learned a lot. And second, and most importantly, what I really learned from this session of today is, of course, Madam told us of what happens when we don't pull the trigger, or what happens when we don't apply the brakes, and what happens if we apply the brakes. And my interest is more is majorly on what happens if we apply the brakes, or if we apply self control at the end of the day, because I was looking at the aspect of the consistency itself, because that's what Madam said, and I took it so positive. This is something that is really so hard, especially with the self-control sometimes. To keep it, or to be consistent is really so hard sometimes. So I really learned that a lot, and I picked everything that she said. Then I have a question. As much as I asked a question in the form also, I feel like posing another question as well. Okay, the question goes like this: in cases where I tried many times but failed, and realized that I'm now too deep into some dangerous habits, or too addictive into some dangerous habits, um, so I know very well that sooner or later, of course, it is really going to hurt me. It is very dangerous sometimes. So the question is now, are there some causes that are related to to mental health in this case? If it is now, if it is related to mental health, like how can that person now be helped? So this is a question that I feel I should ask at this time. Thank you.
I have taken notes. I'm going to answer that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Judel? Joe, you can go on. Okay. Samsung?
For me, first of all, I want to thank you for the advice that you've given us because you have opened up my mind, on many things. Number one thing that I've learned, if you have an ambition, if you want something, fight for it, work hard for it, sweat for it. In rain and shine, wake up, go to class if you need something. Because if you won't wake up, lazy bones will eat nothing. But if you work hard and you strive for what you want, Allah, you still get what you want, you achieve them. So it has taught me to always work hard, not to just stay lazy. Nothing will meet you in your bed. But if you wake up, you work hard, then you achieve more great things, even the things that you've not even been imagining about. And another thing that I've learned about, one is behaviors matter in this life journey with the people you live with and in your success. Because if you misbehave among your fellows, even the people who could have helped you in some situations or in your education, they just run away from you because of your misbehaviors. But if you behave well, even people are inspired to help you in times of lack, in times when you don't understand something, they can teach you so that you gain and you upgrade. Because one's behaviors matter in their journey of success with the people they move along with. I get that because if you misbehave, people run away from you, they hate you, and you become lonely, stressful, not focusing on your education. And that's why some people they don't perform well because of that influence in school. And another thing that maybe I've got out of that, if you do something wrong, don't keep on moving in that very thing every time and all along. If you know that it's bad, just try as you can to make something better. Even though when you try and it fails, keep on standing, keep on working, keep on changing. Slowly by slowly, you can make it up by changing. If you strive changing yourself, don't let the world change you. Change yourself before the world changes. Because if the world stands up to change you, you will suffer and cry. But if you change on your own, it's better than the world changing you. And also the other thing I've learned, if someone annoys you and you get mad, you just give yourself space to calm down and cool down, because in times of anger you don't make right decisions, you make false decisions, and after you start saying, why did I do that, why? But because of not thinking. But if you get annoyed and you are pissed off and you give yourself some time, your mind will think and you'll make the right decisions. So I've learned about that. So when you get annoyed, don't just react. Be peaceful,
Okay.
move away and get a place aside, calm down then and you come later. Your mind will be focusing on other things, not on what made you to get annoyed. Thank you. That's what I learned.
Thank you. Okay. Gemma.
Yeah, so thank you for today's session. There are a lot of stuff I've learned, but mainly it's about the anger issues and all that. So setting aside time so that you cool down is also very helpful, because maybe if you stay away from something that has annoyed you, that may make your anger cool down. And the other thing is the part of the self-control whereby you set time. Maybe madam has spoken about something like putting the phone in another room, pretending like as if you never charged it, so that you can concentrate on something, I think, more useful than being on phone all day, because it also takes time and it's also addictive. So thank you for the lesson. May God bless you.
Okay, thank you. Gordon. Okay. Matthew. Okay, Gordon, come first.
thank you for the opportunity, sir. What I've learned from this session is always create time for everything. So students pray always when it comes for time for revision, we should revise, not to gunplay. Instead of going and read the book, some of us, for me, when during the lesson, when the teacher like physics, when he enters the class during revision time, I use it gun high. So I've learned that I should always create time for everything. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Samsung. Okay. Yes, Sam.
Actually, mine is mainly a question. So my
Okay.
question is, I've actually had an anxiety disorder like for 3 years up to now, and it's really bothering me. So this is a process like whereby you keep on like getting negative thoughts from nowhere. It has been bothering me until now. So we tried visiting a counselor, and things failed. We visited the therapist, and things still kind of failed. So as per now, I'm still being troubled, and I'm sure the counselor who has been hosting this meeting here understands it. I'm really struggling until now, and I really don't know what to even do in actual sense. So that's my question.
I
Okay.
have taken notes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Samsung, I think drop your number in the chat such that we can reach on you even after the session for more support. Yeah. Mercy.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Teacher, for me, I'm
afternoon.
having a question.
Okay.
Assuming your parent has told you that do this, then you tell the parent that teacher has given me some work, I have to work on this work. Then the parent tells you it's okay, you can do the work. After that, then your young brother goes to do that work, the one that I told you to do. When the parent, when the child does it and the child messes up, and instead of blaming the child, they blame you instead. Now, I am asking, like, how can I handle that situation? Because after me informing you that I have this work, teacher has told me to do this and I have to submit it immediately, and you tell me it's okay, you can do it. Then the other child goes, your brother goes to do that work and messes up, and they blame you instead. Now, how can you control that? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. She has taken note of it. Kiara.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, teacher, and great thanks for the sessions. Actually, teacher, I have a question. I've been in a situation where I do identify people with I don't know if it's mental problem or some issues related to self-control. Now I don't know. It's at school, even in the area, at home, in the community. Sometimes you see someone just seated quietly talking to themselves, even it reach a point of them jeering. They're just alone, but they're in that state of talking to themselves, jeering. It's like it reach a point of even clapping their hands. I don't know how. Now, and if you reach to them, they'll be like, leave me alone. They'll be like they want to fight you. Now, how can you help this person, teacher? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kiara. The question has been taken note of. Sekaja. Okay. Mary, Irene.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sir, I've learned a lot, but I have this one question. So, sir, I've been in this situation where my parent has been comparing me because of my results. I don't perform so well, and I feel so bad. So should I just ignore them, or I just take it in, because it makes me feel bad and I don't know what to do.
Okay, okay, Irene, we are going to respond to that. And lastly, let us just have one more person, then we have the questions. Mercy. Okay, I've failed to get Mercy. I think, Teacher Juliet, let's first have those ones.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, it seems like we've made an impact this afternoon. I'm really happy with the feedback that we've gotten from the students, whatever they are saying. And because it is too much, a lot that I have to answer here, I'm going to be very, very fast. So I'll
Have
start with a
you,
person
Teacher
who's
Julie,
Wanji.
did you even see what is in the chat?
I didn't even, I just saw a few things. I saw a few things.
Okay,
I saw a
because there
few
are also
things.
many. Okay,
There are so many, but we might not be able to answer each and everything. Now,
okay, okay.
so I'll start with a person who says they are being blamed for things that their siblings are not doing well. And maybe also this one uh, can relate to the person who said her parents are comparing her with her siblings who are performing better, and for her she's suffering all that. Now, one thing that we have to do in order to employ the self-control we've learned today is not to talk back in anger. It is to stay calm, okay? We have to stay calm and use our brain. Remember the thinking brain? We need to use the thinking brain. Where the parent is telling you you're performing poorly, your etc., your, as long as they are not withdrawing privileges, I need us to understand that this parent is it, that is the best way they know to push you to perform better. So don't take it very personally that they probably don't like me, they don't care about me. That's why they are comparing me to my brothers and my sisters. They don't understand my struggles. Instead, you can use your thinking brain and probably request your mom, your dad, either parent, a guardian, and request them, is it possible that we can talk to teacher so and so so that he can give me extra lessons in this and this. That is also another way, because when they see you taking an initiative, they also realize that you're trying to do your best, but things are just failing. But each time they talk to you, compare you, and for you just keep quiet, or you talk back, or you show that I don't care attitude, somehow, somewhere, the comparison will never stop. The comparison will never stop. And then also, when other people do mistakes, when they do mistakes, the person who said that my brother, I don't know who is older between the two of you. If you are the elder person or the elder daughter, it is you definitely, whether you like it or not, you'll be blamed for things that go wrong. Why? Because you are supposed to supervise. You're supposed to supervise. The other person doing the work the way they want doesn't take away the responsibility that you as an elder daughter is supposed to carry. So you're supposed to supervise and see how the other person is doing the work. Don't just sit back and wait for your mom to find out that they've done it wrongly, so that they come back at you. Okay, so you have to realize, yes, it's the other person's mistake, but I also have to chip in when I have time to check what they have done. Or I can, when I have free time, because right now I'm busy doing my work, but when I have free time, let me jump in and teach this person how to do this thing, so that next time I won't be blamed for the mistakes they have made. But all in all, self-control is in your control. So if you use the other brain, that you don't use the thinking brain, you're going to make matters worse. And then there is also this person who asked about people who talk to themselves, and sometimes you even see them clapping and wondering and etc. So some of those people are in stages of mental illness. I can't go into the difference of whatever, but they are probably starting the stages of mental illness. Some. Others, it is simply overthinking, excessive worry. People carry so many problems with them. So sometimes they find themselves talking to themselves. Somebody is walking and they're wondering, over fees in Jawa. Next week is school fees time. Where am I going to get the money? They are talking to themselves seriously. They are in that state of excessive worry. In most cases, you don't have much to do, except if you have a close relationship with that person. Maybe that person is your parent, your elder sister, or anyone. There you can come in and probably ask, what is going on? Is there a way I can help? That kind of thing. Okay. But in most cases, if they are just strangers, they are walking on their way, you don't know what they are going through. They could be going through so much. And at that particular moment, that is the only way they are trying to sort out the problem they are going through. But others could be at the beginning of what you call a mental illness. They are almost running mad because of the so many things they are going through. And if it is your friend, or maybe in a classroom setting, or this person is your dorm mate, classmate, etc., and you see they are doing these things so many times, try to approach and find out, or try to talk to maybe a teacher or somebody who can relate with that person to try and find out what is going on. So that is what the best you can do. There isn't much that you can do in that case. And then there is somebody who talked about anxiety disorder, living with negative thoughts. Really sorry that you said you've attended counseling and it has not helped, but we also should know that most people attend counseling waiting or hoping for quick results. They think that counseling is like, I have malaria, I'll go to a doctor and the doctor will give me medicine and in a week I'll be okay. No, my dear, that's not the way counseling works. Some people take even years, 1 year, 2 years, and they have sessions every week or every month. So counseling takes time. It is a longer journey, but at the end of the day, it works. At the end of the day, it works. So if you have been doing it every once in a while, or you did it and stopped and you didn't make all the appointments, sometimes you might not get the results that you want. But there are a few things that I can mention. You need to find that trigger. What is that trigger that gives you negative thoughts? Do you get the negative thoughts every time you wake up in the morning throughout the entire day? Or there are some incidences where something happens and then the negative thoughts come. That is what we call name the trigger and find out. That is one thing you can do. And secondly, you need to learn to put your body into motion. Because I know that you can't be anxious when you are sleeping. You are anxious when you are awake. And when you are awake and your body is seated there doing nothing, it will be in constant anxiety. You need to learn to put it in motion through the breathing exercises, the deep breathing, through the walking, through the stretching, in order to calm your nervous system. You feel that the negative thought is coming on, you stand up and take a walk. You engage in a sport. All those things, little by little, you start building daily habits that will help. And then sometimes we get into anxiety because we worry too much over things. And some of them might even be minor issues. For example, that failure in a math exam or in a science exam, a biology exam. And for you, you look at it as if it's the end of the world. Okay, so we need to learn that certain things, yes, they touch us, they break us, but we are still alive and we can get up, and we don't have to put so much effort on some of these things. And therefore, in that way, we can be able to break the worry. Avoid being so alone. If you are so alone all the time, the anxiety will be intense because you're not engaging in something, you're not talking to anyone. The anxiety, the thoughts in your mind will be too many. If you've been taking caffeine, coffee, strong coffees, strong tea leaves, even tea leaves contain caffeine. If you've been watching too much screens, too much on the phone, too much on the TV, all those things, they worsen anxiety. They are like stimulants. So replace those things with active body workouts. And when I talk about body workouts, I'm not saying go to the gym and do that. But if you can do an occasional swimming, if you know how to swim, maybe once a week, if you can do an evening walk, if you can play that tennis when you were at school, if you have it, if you can play football. Football is played everywhere, even in villages where people don't have whatever, if they have a courtyard, they can play football. If you can make your body active and you don't allow it to sit there and think, somehow, somewhere, the habits of overthinking and over worry and the negative thoughts will slowly start to fade, but it takes time. It takes time. And then is the trigger, is the negative thoughts. The negative thoughts, are they coming from fear of something? If they are coming from fear of something, a counselor helps you, or a parent or someone who is trained can help you to approach that thing slowly by slowly, being exposed to that thing slowly by slowly. For example, you see how a child learns that fire burns or a candle burns. Some parents get the finger and try to push it on the candle to show that, don't touch it. It does what? It burns. So the child will be able to realize that this one burns. So that likewise, the same applies to the things that we fear so much that bring negative thoughts towards us. So sometimes we need to confront those things. So as slowly by slowly, so that we are able to overcome. But this has to be done with a trained person. And then learn to write down your thoughts. When you write down your thoughts, each time they come to you and you put them in writing, you release them from your mind. But each time you let them sit there and they continue and continue going on, they'll fill your head and the anxiety will be worse. And then the last thing I would recommend is definitely talk therapy. Definitely talk therapy. Talk therapy with a professional. If you have a school counselor, if you have a teacher, some teachers have been trained in counseling. If you have somebody who you find comfort in, it can be a religious leader, it can be a chaplain at your school. All those people can help. If you talk to them, they can help. But the beauty about it is that anxiety is treatable. It is treatable. It can be stubborn in going away, but it needs different methods and slow. It is a slow thing. It doesn't go away that today you have anxiety, tomorrow it is gone. No, it goes on a slow basis, but it is treatable. If you start helping yourself right now, by the time you are a young adult, you'll be in a much better place, because it will be worse if you don't sort it now and you become a young adult with responsibility when you have that too much anxiety lingering at the back of your mind. So please get up, speak to your parents. My number, Mr. Kaziba will share it. You can contact me and we find ways of trying to help you. And then also, someone talked about, what did I see in the chat? I think I picked this in the chat. Where is that? Addiction. Oh, no, somebody talked about it. I think somebody said they are addictive to a dangerous habit and they don't know, is it a mental health issue Can they overcome the dangerous habit? I would say yes. That addiction is a mental health issue, and yes, you can overcome and get better. You have to put in effort. You have to realize that at this moment you're going through that very bad habit that you are addicted to, but it doesn't mean that it will last forever. If you wake up and do something about it, and in fact you have already done something about it by admitting that you have this addiction, you are already on the journey of doing something about it. Some people use these addictions as a coping strategy. For example, if the addiction is probably pornography, substance use, or it is alcohol, some people are going through too much stress that when they take that alcohol, they feel a little bit better. Okay. Or when they are so bored, they need to please themselves, then they open and watch a porn movie or something. All those things, those addictions, they can be overcome by finding out when and what times do I find myself engaging in this addiction. When and at what times? Does it happen when I'm so excited about something? Does it happen when I feel so low? Does it happen when I've gotten that bad grade? Does it happen when somebody has broken my heart? All those things. So you need to find out the trigger and then find out, is it the stress that is pushing me to this addiction? But the good thing is it can be overcome if you put in effort. However, you should know that being addicted to something doesn't necessarily mean that you're mentally ill, that you're mad, you're etc. No, that's not what it means. But if it's not dealt with, when it becomes extreme, like alcohol, it can alter the way you think permanently and the way you do things permanently. So you need to work on it so that you better the situation. So you're not mentally ill, but yes, you have a mental health issue that has to be dealt with. So how can you make yourself better? Start by admitting that, yes, I have a problem, which you have already done. And then check out that trigger. When do I do this thing most? Do I do it when I'm stressed, when I'm lonely, when I'm angry, when I'm bored? So how can I fix this trigger? And then also reduce access to those things that fuel the addiction. Is it a phone? We have already talked about what we can do. If it is a phone and you're accessing pornographic material, there are so many apps that allow you to block things that you're not supposed, you don't really want to see. Is it friends? Are they friends that I get together with these friends and then we just simply go wild and our addiction is fueled? Take note of that. And then when you want to run or to fight this addiction, please don't just say, today I will not engage, and you think you will overcome. No, you have to replace that time. If that addiction has been coming when you feel low, replace the addiction with something. For example, you can get involved in exercising. You can listen to music that calms your soul. You can write down what you call journaling. You can talk to someone who can help you out. And then you can tap into your creative mind. Tap into your creative mind. People are so creative. I mean, look at TikTok and the things that we see there. People are creative in different ways. Forget the TikTok of people dancing just like that. But if you look at YouTube channels and you see the things that people make, the arts and craft and etc., we didn't know about these things. We didn't know that people are that creative. But now we realize that people are creative and every one of us can perfect something. So tap into your creative mind. It will help you. And then work on your body, because if your physical is not well, your body is not well, it will show. If your mind is not well, it is too much taken up with addiction, it will show in your physical. So sleep well, enough hours of sleep, eat a balanced diet, move your body, drink water, it is important. Drink water, please. It is important for every one of us. I mean, just imagine if you experienced the heat of January and your body never takes in water. What exactly are you doing to your body? If your body is dehydrated, it even leads to the thoughts. Your thoughts start thinking different things and you don't know what is causing it. It is the dehydration. Please drink water. It helps. For every one of us online, let us make it a habit to drink water every day. Enough water. They said 2 to 3 liters every day. Those are 8 glasses, 6 to 8 glasses every day. Drink water. And then the last thing that I would say, speak to a professional, somebody that can listen to you, somebody that can help you without judging. And in most cases, those are the professionals, the counselors, the religious leaders. Those are the people who can help you. Even your parent, there is that parent who you're close to, that you can tell, okay? And they'll be able to listen to you and help you. However, one thing we should know is that addiction is not so easy to overcome, but it can be overcome. That even when you feel better in 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, it is very possible that in the next 6 months, you can go back to that addiction. But replace the addiction with something positive that you can work with. It will help you and you'll be able to overcome the habit. So those are some of the things that I can talk about. Then lastly, the form, the Google form, I try to put things in kind of a cluster. I clustered them. So some of the issues were about the phone and social media overuse. People have no control over these things and they are worried about it. We've talked about finding ways of making sure you're not always on your phone. Put it in another room, pretend you didn't charge it, or just don't charge it that night and keep away from it. Set your screen time limits. Know that I can be on the phone from around 4 p.m. to around 5 or 6 p.m. After that, something else. The first thing I should do in the morning shouldn't be picking my phone. That when I wake up, before I do anything, even when I'm still in my bed, I'm picking my phone and scrolling. That is a problem. So do something like that. The people have anger issues and they are quick to react. We talked about pausing, breathing before you respond. It's important. The 10 seconds, the 10 minutes, the going away, the moving away. And then people talked about peer pressure. We said learn to say no. Learn to say no, learn to set boundaries, learn to choose friends with similar values. Friends that don't make you feel less if you don't involve in whatever they are doing. And then procrastination. You have a task to do, but then you find you're always pushing it to the next hour, the other hour, and then you find you have a lot to do. If you can do it in 1 minute, do it. If you can get away with it, I mean, you put it aside, you can do it in 5 minutes, do it. And then move to something else. Don't push it to another hour because another hour has its own things. And then the other hour also has its own things. So if you can do it quickly, do it. If it's mopping the house, do it. And then you're done with it and then you can do something else. So break the tasks into small steps that you can do and therefore you'll be able to handle. And then impulsive spending. It's good that I talked about it. Let us learn to use our money and to save. Financial management. Let us learn to handle our money. Handling money is not only for adults, my dear. You learn from this age how to handle money. If you can't handle money very well in your teenage, it will be very difficult for you to manage your adulthood. So please learn to handle money. Avoid impulsive spending where you just find a nice dress and you buy it immediately, even when you don't need it. So wait for a day, wait for 1 hour and see if you still need to buy that dress. Okay. And then poor time management. Somebody mentioned something about it. Now, you draw a daily schedule. Draw a daily schedule. If you are in school, you're lucky that you have a timetable that you follow. But even outside that timetable, you can put in your personal timetable. that where you're free, you have something to do. So draw a daily schedule that helps you. If you are in holidays, you can still draw a daily schedule that says, maybe I wake up at, because we are in holiday, my parents allow me to wake up at 8. Let me wake up at 8, instead of waking up at midday or at 11. Okay, so draw a schedule that can work for you. If some people talked about the not controlling their emotional cravings like eating and etc, work on this, please. You need to, because weight issues can be a real problem, especially for young people and more especially for girls. So you need to work on these cravings. For example, learn to drink water. I've already talked about it. Learn to have meals at their proper time, because if you don't have that meal and then you push later, I'll have it later, it means one, you're giving room for your body to develop ulcers. Two, you're giving room for yourself to eat so much when that time comes, because by that time you'll be so hungry, you want to take down a lot of food at a go. So have your meals, and they should be balanced meals. Even in school, even if it's posho and beans, you still have a carbohydrate there, you still have a protein there. Okay, so take the food, the meals, the way you should take them, instead of going for chapatis and oily things and all that type. All you can indulge in a chapati once in a while, but it shouldn't replace your lunch. And then gossiping and oversharing. Somebody talked about it in the Google form. Now, before you pass on any information, try to ask yourself, what if it were me? Would I like people talking about me? Put yourself in that person's shoes. Be empathetic. Ask yourself, what if it were me? But anyway, what does it help? Is it kind? Is it necessary for me to pass on this information? Do I have to? Good. Risky choices. People talked about risky choices. I talked about alcohol. In school, some people create shortcuts and they cheat on exams. They sneak out of the school and go enjoy themselves. They cheat in different things. Some people are thieves. We know in schools, children can steal from each other. Okay. Think about the long-term consequences. Are they worth it? Do you want to be the kind of person 10 years later that the students you were with in school are busy, you were at the same workplace and they are busy telling your colleagues and co-workers, that girl was a thief when you were in school? Long-term consequences. Have you thought about them? Would you want that labeled against your name? So think about it. Choose integrity. Integrity is that thing that you do when others are not watching, and you're choosing the right thing when others are not watching. Some people do right things because people are watching, but when you choose to do the right thing always, even when others are not watching, then you have integrity. Choose integrity. Choose integrity. Choose long-term consequences, so that you're not caught up in things 10 years later they are saying that girl was a thief when we were in secondary school. And then lastly, some people said they give up easily. They start working on something and then they give up easily. Sometimes it's because you have set a goal that is unrealistic. Set goals that are realistic. And also, each time you accomplish something, however small, be happy for yourself. Be happy for yourself that you have accomplished something. That today I took a 1-minute walk. That today I stood up and gave an answer in class. That today I was able to drink my full bottle of water. You know those bottles that have 1 liter etc. Today I was able to drink it. By the end of the day I had finished it. So be happy and praise yourself for that. So Mr. Kaziba, I think that's it for some of the things that I picked up.
Okay, I'm seeing some hand. Let's pick on these 2 hands from Jimmy.
Okay.
Gemma. Yes, Jimmy, come first.
Thank you, Master, for giving me the chance. Master, I have a problem. If we face problems in class, and this problem is not on me, but Yeah, it is common in most of the students. This problem is about confidence, master. Sometimes we fail to participate. It is about confidence, lack of confidence in class. Sometimes we may fail to participate in a class just not because we do not know, but just because we are shy, master. And this makes us ourselves when it comes to time of filling exams. Master, how can we handle this? Then another one is, master, is reading hard? Can it help in excellence? Because sometimes you may find us read from morning to evening and even in the night. But again, sometimes you may not see any change in the exams. What should? Thank you.
Can I answer that
Okay.
first before I forget?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I saw in the chat somebody asking for my number. I've just typed it there in the chat. It's my WhatsApp number also. And then also, somebody is asking, reading hard. That sometimes we read hard, but we don't get it, and etc. There is reading hard. People see you in books all the time, but in actual sense, you're not picking. In this case, you need to change your reading and study skills. Because sometimes people can read for even 10 minutes and whatever they have read has stuck in their head. So this business of reading books as if you're reading a novel, as if you're reading a story, will not help most of us. I know when I was in school, that didn't help me at all. So you need to break down. Remember when I said break down in small chunks. First of all, start by drawing that small timetable within the bigger school timetable. Draw that small timetable that tells you on Monday prep time, I'm going to read biology. And in biology, I'm not going to read cover to cover. I'm going to read this particular topic. And under this particular topic, I'm going to read this section. If you do that, you'll be able to pick what you read. And as you read, don't read to keep it in the head. It's not a novel, it won't get stuck there. It's not a movie, it won't get stuck there. Right. During our time, we had what we called the cassette. You would make those small notebooks and write notes on the side. I used to teach literature. Whenever I read a book, I would be writing on the side. I made sure I would buy personal copies, not use school copies. I would buy a personal copy so that I can be able to use my pencil to write notes on the side. That way, when the exams come around, I'm able to go back, not to read the entire cover to cover, but I look through the small notes. So that too much reading, the hard work reading might not be helping because you're reading as if you're reading a novel, as if you're watching a movie. But start to be intentional in your reading, knowing that my timetable is saying this, and therefore I should read it, and under this subject I should read this topic, and under this topic I should be reading this particular item. And that way, as you read, you write with small notes, it helps. Now I've forgotten the other question that you asked. I think you had two questions, Bananga. I've forgotten the other question.
It was about lack of confidence and failing to
Yeah, the
participate.
lack of confidence, the self-esteem. How do we build the confidence? You can't just wake up and build the confidence. The good thing, confidence can be built. You can't just wake up and say, now I want to be confident. On Monday, I wasn't confident. On Tuesday, I'm going to be confident. No. When you look at the things that you apply in self-control, you'll find that those things can also help you to build your confidence. For example, somewhere you said that you can be in class, you even fear to raise up your hand to say something. Start by participating in those classes where you really enjoy, because I know there are some subjects that you really, really enjoy and you're very sure you know the answer. Okay? Start by answering those short questions that are there. Start by volunteering to do something for your class. For example, you can volunteer to be maybe the person who collects books. and it takes them to the staff room for marking. When you do that, you find that you're going to start interacting with the teachers and interacting with the students more, because you'll be asking them, where is your book? We are taking books, bring your books. But each time you stay behind and you think, oh, I will, maybe tomorrow I'll be able. Start by participating. Do little things. Participate, little things. If the teacher asks, who can volunteer to do this? However little it is, don't look at it as something that is so low, I can't participate in that. How can I be the person who takes books to staff room? That is how we build confidence. That is how we build. By you start with the immediate environment in your home. If you are a child in your home and you're maybe the big one and you have little brothers and sisters, can you command them to do something? Can you be able to teach them how to wash clothes, how to wash utensils? By doing that, you're gaining confidence. You don't know that you're gaining confidence, but you are. Your parent will start saying you, oh, that one, whenever he's home, things get done. And then you also become confident. And before you know it, that confidence will spill over when you go to your class. It will be very difficult for you to start by saying, oh, teacher, today I'm going to do this. It will be very difficult. But when the teacher asks, is there someone who can read for us? And then you pick and read. Somehow you're starting to slowly to build your confidence. So that's what I can say. Start by little things, little things. Then your confidence will grow slowly. Okay, so there was the last person who wanted to ask something.
Yes, madam. Actually, my question is, once you're, let's say, angry, and then you picture yourself maybe beating up a person or doing something bad, is it very dangerous? Because what I'm thinking is, can someone actually get a, like, can someone actually make it practical? Because there you're thinking about it. Let's say someone has annoyed me, but I picture myself picking up that person. So is it very dangerous whereby I'll reach to an extent where I really do it?
I'll answer you with this. Our lives are run, or our individual lives, our bodies are run with these three things: your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. How you feel will drive how you think will drive how you feel. How you feel will drive how you will act. Have you got that? If your
Yes.
thoughts are full of negativity, I will beat up that person. That person is very annoying. This girl, I am so jealous. I don't like her. I hate her. Each time you see this person, you're full of thoughts against this person. You're going to start feeling jealous towards this person. You feel angry each time you see her. You get annoyed. You don't like her. Even when she's doing good things, she hasn't done anything to you. Because now your thoughts are driving your feelings, and then your feelings will drive your actions. Yes, my dear, if those thoughts are in you all the time, day in, day out, it is just a matter of time, you will end up beating up that person. Because your thoughts will drive your feelings will drive your actions. It will take only one simple slight issue that person will do, and you will snap. Are we together?
Yes, madam.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Sajid, I think we take one more too. Darren?
For me, my point was that the fact that you may want to read biology on Monday night prep, but what if the teacher has also given you an activity or an assignment. Then after finishing the assignment, you feel a bit tired to read the biology.
Okay. So in this case, you can replace. I don't know where the feedback is coming from, but where you feel that you are so tired to engage in that high thinking activity, biology, mathematics, physics, chemistry, they are so involving. They really need real cognitive activity. Then you can replace that Monday where the teacher has given you so much work the biology won't do, even if it's the one on the timetable. You can replace the biology on that day, that Monday, with something that you feel lighter to do. For example, reading a book, a novel. When you read a novel, it gives you excitement, it regenerates your brain, it helps you to overcome the stress and etc. Or you can replace it with an English. Some of you, most people say when we do English, we go live. We don't revise English. But English also needs to be revised. So replace it with something that you feel easy to do, something that is easier for you to do. Then the following week, you can continue and pick up with the biology. Or where the time was for English and now you've done it in the time of biology, then replace that with the biology at that time. So where you feel you're so stressed to do something very highly cognitive, then go for something lesser that gives you pleasure, like reading a novel. Because when you're reading a novel, you're also revising your English language, your writing skills, etc. At the same time, you're gaining entertainment and killing stress. Okay, that's it.
Okay, I'm seeing a burning question from Irem and Kirat. They are the last.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
So my question is that, okay, first of all, can you just begin with what you've talked about at the moment? I heard you tell someone about them opting for doing something which is easier for them, and that's one of the examples you gave was reading a novel. So, madam, personally, I'm a candidate. So, how do you like? Should I say how should I balance? Because not like every single time you have to read a book. So how do you like balance in that time? Then also, personally, I have a problem. Okay, this is not how I've seen that. I have to just go with like, there's the influence. Okay, I just got it from school. This thing where if someone does it that I don't like, I'd be off to give them attitude. So one of these things I also value is to my friends. So basically, I also got it from her. So I was also asking how to overcome that.
Okay, so I didn't pick the last thing. How to overcome what?
That thing of giving attitude to people.
The one of attitude. Okay, so overcoming attitude. People give you attitude and you also give them back attitude. Now, other people's attitude is out of your control. There is no way you can wake up and tell people you can't give me attitude. Don't give me your attitude. I don't like your attitude. It is out of your control. So you can't control them. However, your attitude is in your control. Are you the kind of person who is going to be tit for tat? You give me attitude, I give you attitude. It will never end. The war will never end. It will continue and even develop into a fight. Learn to walk away. Learn to employ self-control. Your attitude is in your control. Other people's attitude is not in your control. Are we together there? Secondly, you talked about you are a candidate and you feel like maybe how can I replace reading a novel? I mean, how can I replace biology or chemistry with reading a novel? It is not a daily thing. So there are times when really, really you're so stressed. There is so much that you have been doing throughout that day that you can't force it. When you force it, you will be the person who reads hard but things never enter. So the novel is helpful in such a way. It can be a literature novel, and probably you do literature, so it will help you. If you don't do literature, it can be just a fiction novel or just a novel for entertainment. At the same time, it is also teaching you English language. Unconsciously or subconsciously, it is teaching you English language, and English language is compulsory. So you're learning how to speak better, you're learning how to write better, you're learning how to read better, and therefore you're learning how to write those things that you're told to write in English language much better. So if you're not doing it every day, that every day I'm replacing with a novel, with a novel, with a novel, and yet I'm a candidate, you will be good to go. But if you're replacing it with a novel, that means you're so stressed. Each evening, your timetable just can't come through because there is so much. So employ other means of relaxing your body so that you can be able to tackle that biology at that particular time. Even when you were candidate, it is never too late. You can still catch up and make things better. We are just joining term 1. We are just joining term 1. You can make it better, and this session has come in timely for you, that after this session you can change. I've run out of battery. I have 3% now.
Okay, the last. Peace.
Good afternoon, madam.
Mm-hmm.
I have a certificate.
Mr. Kaziba, you might have to get that question for me because she's breaking.
Okay, please come again.
Okay, at times I'm someone who just ever I feel like can't say I'm not seeing people yet. I'm trying to make friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear what she said.
Okay,
it was
let
broken.
me summarize based on what I saw somewhere in the chat. At school, I'm ever quiet, sometimes annoyed, when even I'm not being harmed, and fellows talk about it. And I have tried to avoid it, but it has failed to go. So I'm requesting for your advice, please, madam.
We need to find out what happened. What happened? I don't want to ask the question, what is wrong with you? But I want to ask the question, what happened? When did this start? Has it always been like that? So you as a person, you also have to sit and ask yourself, when did this start? Naturally, usually girls are very moody. Girls are very moody. Sometimes people can be very lively when they are still P7, then they come to senior 2, and then they become very moody, especially when people start their periods. There is that time that time of the month when you're just moody. So those things are there. However, if the moodiness and the anger has even been noticed by other people and it is too much, it is every day, Monday to Friday, it is ever there, and you're always by yourself, we need to find out, to dig deep and find out what is going on. So for me, I would suggest that you pick my number and then probably send me a WhatsApp, and then maybe we can have a private chat. That's it. Battery is gone.
Oh, you are still on. Before you go.
It is now 2.
Kilat, ask very fast. Okay. Baswali, if you can ask very fast.
Good afternoon, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher.
Yes,
Yes,
go
please, I
on.
can hear you.
I'm doing a certain paper, and
Mm.
maybe I'm remaining with 30 minutes, and I'm panicking. I want to do this number and that number. There is the way you mess out, and you even fail to do the simplest number, teacher.
Hey. Now, when you are in an exam, always start by, that is why in most cases the exam gives you at least 10 to 20 minutes of planning. Eh? If you look, they usually say you have 2 hours, you have 4 questions to answer. You should spend 25 minutes on each question, but use the first 20 minutes to plan. Now, when you get that question paper, first, instead of starting writing before even you look through all the questions, read through all the questions. If there are 6 and you have to choose 4, choose the most doable. Don't be the kind of person who says, I won't be doing the easy one because everyone is going to do the easy one and therefore we shall be undermarked. No, don't have that kind of feeling. Every individual is marked individually. So go for the easiest. I mean, who doesn't want to do easy things? Go for the easiest. You're not trying to prove yourself by saying, I'll do the difficult one. Therefore, I'm big. I can manage. I'm Superman. So I'm going for the biggest, the hardest. No. Go for the easiest and then start planning. Hmm? Plan first, write with short notes on the side, choose the question, write with short notes for each and every question. Choose the questions before you start writing. That way, you would have planned, and that way, you will not run out of what to write. But if it is like 30 minutes left and you're still wondering which question to do amongst the two, then there is a problem. You won't be able to exhaust. So use the first 20 minutes to plan, or the first 15 minutes to plan, or even 10 minutes, depending on how fast you are. Read through the exam paper, choose the questions you want to do, choose the easiest, and plan. So that when you start writing, you already have a plan that you're going to follow. So that would be my answer to that.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Kirat?
Thank you.
Okay, I failed to get Kirat, but Teacher Julie, allow me to read these questions such that you can summarize everything. Okay. Okay, when someone is addicted with some drugs, but they have advised many times, many people, but no change, how do you react to that? I'm reading many. Okay. Okay. Okay, how do you handle people who come with bad intentions of unhealthy relationships in terms of consulting? Another one, why is that I feel like I want to shut everyone away even when they have done nothing to me? I just feel like I hate talking and interacting with people, but I'm not shy. At home, we have a maid who does everything before I wake up, and in the garden, there is someone who works there. I find myself doing nothing. What can I do to make myself busy and to make myself active and helpful at home? Another one, I find it hard to make friends. Then another one, how can one rest than sleeping? Okay, I think let's. Okay, Teacher Julie, let's first have those ones. Then the rest, we shall respond later. Oh, Teacher Julie, are you still on? Oh, okay. I think Teacher Julie, we have lost her. But
Oh,
okay.
I'm here. I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
so the person who said that she finds the maid and the houseboy have done everything, please learn to wake up earlier. Or maybe you wake up at the time when the maid wakes up, because at the end of the day you're also learning skills in doing chores at your home. Or discuss with the maid and share things that you can do. For her, you feel that if you can do the washing of clothes or the washing of utensils, take on that. But each time you say, oh, I wake up when they have done everything, house chores never end. Hmm? House chores never end. Each time people are eating and putting dirty things in the whatever. Each time people are wearing clothes and taking them off, they are dirty. The house needs to be mopped sometimes in the morning with all this dust. Some people even mop twice. So fall in and don't say that the maid does everything. Fall in. Ask her where you can help and fall in and do something. Then someone who said she doesn't know, she keeps away from people, she pushes them away. In most cases, I always tell people there could be an underlying issue that you need to sort out. Hmm? Why do you feel that way? Do you feel that way all the time? Or but it is after something has happened that you feel you don't want to talk to people? So it is important to find out, is it a daily thing? And if it is a daily thing, there are little things that you can do. Try by maybe helping someone, or I don't know, chipping in for someone, or maybe, uh, asking someone, how can I be of help to you? Let me say you are at school and you tell the person, uh, can we wash clothes together today? Can we do this? So in most cases, we fear to ask these questions, and yet the people who are next to us also fear to ask. So at the end of the day, you find that everyone is fearing to ask the other, and yet you're all looking out for the same thing. So you can be the first person to genuinely ask or offer to do something for someone, but also be careful that people don't take advantage of you. I know girls can, especially girls can learn to say, oh, this one, oh, last time she asked me, maybe even this time, let me ask her. So you need to know that there are certain little things that you can do that can help open up the friendships. And then some people also close down because another person, broke your heart, or a friend, you fell out with a friend and you're no longer friends. Now you close down even the neighbors. There could be that neighbor who would like to be your friend, but because you were hurt by the other person, you think everybody is going to hurt you. Be open. The other person is not this person. People are different and they react differently. So you need to remember that. Now, the other questions here, when I start speaking, I forget the questions.
There was one about
Because I have
drugs.
nowhere to write. Okay, addictions.
Mm.
Now, one thing in mental health that is very difficult to treat is addictions. Addictions are not easy to treat, and addictions need a trained personnel. If you see that you have failed to get off your addictions, it's now about time that you contacted someone else to give you the support that you need. Addictions need trained personnel to help us overcome. Addictions need support groups. That is why you hear of Alcoholics Anonymous, you hear of this support group, this support group. They are all coming together to support each other and to find ways. So if there is an addiction that you're going through and you see it is getting worse, we start by acknowledging it, and when we acknowledge it, we seek help. So that is the best I can say right now. But as a person, it is very difficult for you to just wake up and say, I'm now going to beat this addiction, and tomorrow I'm not going to do anything about it. So it is that. That is what I can say about it.
Okay, thank you. Then there was one, how to balance school, work. I am a candidate this year. That was it. Then also this one, I think you can compile it. Excuse me, madam, sometimes that the assignments to do can pile up as well as deadlines to meet. And on my end,
Yes.
I end up getting no time to revise. What can I do?
The beauty about it, in the morning, we had a training for teachers and we talked to them about being lenient with the students. So the students also should learn to do not procrastinate. Like I said, if something can be done in 10, 20 minutes, please do it and do away with it. If it needs an hour, look for that hour and do it. But each time you push it to, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own things and you will find the work is piling up. Eh? Stop procrastinating. Yes, the work can be overwhelming. Let us look at the break time. Some people might say, I don't have that time. We are ever in class, but we have break time. Some people's break time is 40 minutes. Some people's break time is 20 minutes. If your break time is 20 minutes, carry something to eat so that you don't have to walk to the canteen to buy and eat for break. Carry something, buy it before, put it in your pocket. So as you eat your break, you're also working on that mathematics assignment. By the time the 20 minutes are done, you're done with that assignment, you've put it aside. Lunchtime. Lunchtime is usually 1 hour for most schools. Okay. Do you take a full hour to eat a meal? Eat your meal in 20, 30 minutes. Use the extra 30 minutes to do something, to do away with that assignment. That way you're planning and reclaiming that time. Because the timetable, the school timetable, is not going to give you time. You are supposed to look for that time. The school timetable will give you time for mathematics, for biology, for chemistry, for classwork. It won't give you time for your time. So reclaim some time from break time, reclaim some time from lunch time, reclaim some time from after class. So sometimes people have lessons after class, other times you don't have lessons after class. Use that time maybe to do some bit of exercise, 10 minutes, and then 30 minutes to do some work. Before you know it, you'll find that the little 20 minutes you've taken away and the 30 minutes of lunch you've taken away have helped you to do the work that you're supposed to do. But if you wait for people to give you time, if you wait for the teachers to come and say, oh, I know you're very busy, therefore I won't give you the assignment, you're lying to yourself. It won't happen. So find the time, my dear. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you. Kilat, your hand is still up. Kilat?
Yes, teacher, I congratulate you all for your time and your counseling and guidance. I wanted to inquire, like, for me, I'm a candidate this year. I'm sitting UCE. Like, I'm working at night, but daytime I'm free. How do I balance school with work at the moment? Then another thing, will this lesson be recorded on YouTube? Then we follow it later to get the notes on PDF.
Okay, so you work at night. I don't know if you have some time over the weekend to yourself. Do you still work over the weekend? It is also important to ask yourself that.
Generally,
So,
madam, daytime I'm free. Then at night I work.
Monday to Sunday?
Yeah, Monday to Sunday.
That is work Monday to Sunday.
Yes.
And how do you manage without sleep? When do you ever sleep?
Okay, sleep I can take like about like 3 hours. I coordinate with my colleague at the work. I take off
At
sleep
the
for
workplace.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the
So, okay, the good thing, there is some sleep happening because I was worried that the entire night you were at work and then the entire day you were at school. First and foremost, you need to create time for sleep. It is important. Sleep can really make us turn us into some bit of zombies. That's what I can say. And when I talk about zombies, I'm not talking about these ones that we watch in movies, but it can turn you into a person who cannot function properly. So reclaim some bit of sleep. Find the time. If you work out with your colleagues and you find some time that you can sleep, and then he works and then he sleeps and then you work, please, that is good. Continue doing that as long as it doesn't put you in trouble with your employer. And I know that you need to work to find money to go to school. And then the kind of school you go to, is it a normal secondary school or it is an adult education?
It is an adult education, but this year I'm resuming for normal classes.
For normal classes.
Yes.
And so that means it is only this year. The other years you have not been doing that.
Yes.
Now, if it is only for this year, that is what we call now sacrifice. You're going to put self-control in place in order to achieve your long-term goal. There is a reason as to why you went back to school, even when you have a job already. You have something that you're doing. There is a reason, and that is your personal reason. And therefore, you have to activate the self-control measures that we have talked about. You will have time to go back and look at the slides and listen to the YouTube, activate the self-control measures so that you can be able to complete this year. Because this year is just going to begin, but it runs so fast. Before you know it, term 1 will end, term 2 will end, and then term 3 usually is 1 month, and you're done with your exams. So you will have to sacrifice, you will have to bear with it. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer that things are going to be good, No, I'm going to be realistic and tell you it's going to be heavy for you, but try as much as possible to work it out because it is only this year and then you'll be done with your exams. And then the long-term benefits will come when the results come back and you're able to use those results to better yourself.
Thank you for the advice, madam.
You're welcome.
Madam, another thing, will this lesson be recorded on YouTube? Shall we get it on YouTube?
Mr. Kaziba will answer that.
Okay.
Okay. The very last one from Tekino. The very last one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For me, I have been listening and I have got something and I've got much. But for me, there is something I want to help me, madam. And it is concerning, like it is the same as this topic. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Madam, for me, I have an issue, and I have some conditions in my body which it is in form of the reactions. I went in the hospital. I have some conditions I hear in my body like reactions. I went in hospital. I discussed with the doctor. So he said I have to get a psychologist. So when I heard that we shall discuss with the psychologist, so I said that I can find here the way. Oh, you can help me to get a psychologist. Oh,
Okay, so I don't know if you have picked my number from the. You should pick my number.
no, I haven't got it.
Is there? Do you have somewhere to write? I read it out for you.
Yes, teacher.
0757.
Yes.
186.
Yes.
076.
076.
186. So that number is on WhatsApp. You can send me a WhatsApp. You can give me a call. So now I'll answer one thing in what you've said. So if the doctor sent you to a psychologist or a counselor, it means that they have seen there is no disease inside, but there are emotional issues that are manifesting physically. And emotional issues can manifest physically and even cause what people call in Uganda, they call it bidogologo, or those big itchy goosebumps that when you scratch them, they become very painful and red and sore. Some people can get what we call somatic pains. They have stomach ache, they get diarrhea, they get headaches, etc. Not because they have malaria or they've eaten something bad, but because emotionally they are not well, and therefore their discomfort and distress is coming out in the physical. So if the doctor told you that, probably that is why we need to have a private chat and see where the issue is coming from and see how we can help you. So that is my number. Reach out, but not this evening, because this evening I'm exhausted. Not this
Okay,
evening,
madam.
please. Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
madam. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, teacher. Could you please repeat the number, teacher? I have someone who's in need of a psychologist.
Okay, 0757 186
186
076.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. I think Teacher Judy, any other question? You will respond later on. But allow me to thank you so much for this beautiful session. Thank you so much for the time you have sacrificed to teach us. We have really learned a lot. And my prayer is that the students apply what they have learned. Please let's apply. And also, let's go on to support our friends in case you check out and you say that your friend is really struggling and you can offer, you can refer, do something about it, such that we can as well support our friends at school. So we shall go on and share this recording with you. I think just give us about just 3 hours from now, it will be there on YouTube. You check Holistic e-learning platform. The recording will be there. I'm posting Teacher Julie's number, but also I'm going to share it on our WhatsApp group, and even on the presentation. Reach out to her such that she can be able to support you on any matters you may have. We may not have exhausted everything you have been sending. I've seen how someone was saying examination fever and the rest of that, but I know we shall support you, and also your teachers have been equipped today, so we hope that they will be able to deliver the best. Now, Teacher Julie, over to you to have your concluding remarks, and then we close off the session. Thank you so much.
Okay. Dear students, thank you for tuning in. I saw you were many, around 150 students. That is a very sizable number. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your studies seriously. But above all, please take care of your mental health. If you're not healthy mentally, whatever else that you do, you'll just be struggling with it. And always remember, how we think affects how we feel, and how we feel affects how we act. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, madam. You're really so happy for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mom.
Madam, thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks, Mom.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Please.